My dad gave the family business that I had built to my deadbeat brother, and it went about as well as you'd expect. After 12 years, I transformed my dad's deadbeat startup into an industry leader. I thought I'd finally get some sort of acknowledgement to my existence, or at least put a stop to the emotional neglect. Then came the dinner announcement that changed everything. I'll never forget the smug look on my dad's face as he casually dropped the bomb at our celebratory dinner. "Trevor will be taking over now," he announced, and instead of pointing and laughing at him, I forced a smile and raised my glass, while inside I was screaming. 12 years of my life's work dismissed in 7 casual words. My Aunt Patricia clapped enthusiastically. My cousin James nodded approvingly. A toast, I managed, my voice betraying nothing of the hurricane brewing inside me. To new beginnings. Let me backtrack. My father founded Mitchell Logistics when I was just a kid. In those early days, it was barely staying afloat. Missed mortgage payments, canceled family trips, and constant stress were my childhood memories. I remember finding my mother crying at the kitchen table one night, bills spread out in front of her like a morbid puzzle. I was only 10, but I knew something was terribly wrong. "It's just business, sweetheart," she'd said, quickly wiping her tears. "Your father will figure it out," but he didn't, ever. For years, we lived on the edge of financial ruin. I started noticing the patterns early, how dad would make impulsive decisions, trust the wrong people, and refuse to modernize. Even as a teenager, I could see the fundamental flaws in his business model. When I finished my MBA at 25, I begged him to let me join the company. He reluctantly agreed, probably assuming I'd fail. I still remember his dismissive tone when he showed me to a tiny windowless office on my first day. "Don't expect any special treatment, you hear?" And instead of special treatment, I worked longer hours than anyone else. I started by simply observing, learning every aspect of the business from the ground up. I spent nights in the warehouse, identifying inefficiencies in our inventory management. I took clients to dinner on my own dime, building relationships dad had neglected. I revolutionized everything. I modernized our outdated systems, secured contracts with Fortune 500 companies, expanded operations coast to coast, and implemented cutting-edge tech solutions that our competitors couldn't match. What was once a failing regional shipper became a $75 million national powerhouse, all because of my blood, sweat, and tears. There were pivotal moments along the way, like the time I convinced Axion Technologies, a rising tech giant, to switch from their established logistics partner to us. Dad had scoffed when I proposed targeting them. "Don't waste your time." But I'd spent months researching their pain points, developing a customized solution, and building a relationship with their procurement director. When I finally landed the contract, worth $12 million annually, Dad barely acknowledged the achievement. "Lucky break," he'd muttered. Then there was the West Coast expansion that Dad had resisted for years, claiming the market was too competitive. I put together a comprehensive business case, secured financing, and launched our Los Angeles operations against his wishes. Within 18 months, our California division was outperforming our original headquarters. The company grew exponentially under my leadership. Employees who'd been ready to jump ship found new motivation. Our industry reputation soared. Even our competitors grudgingly acknowledged Mitchell Logistics as the new standard bearer. Through it all, I kept waiting for Dad to recognize what I'd accomplished, to finally say, "You were right, Sophie. You saved this company." That recognition never came. And yet there we were at dinner, surrounded by relatives and business associates, as Dad handed my company to Trevor, who had spent the last decade bouncing between failed startups and finding himself, while I was working 80-hour weeks. The table erupted in congratulations for Trevor, who feigned humility with downcast eyes. I knew better. My brother had never cared about logistics or operations. He cared about status and power. He wanted the title without any of the work. "To Trevor," I said, lifting my glass while keeping my voice steady. The others joined, oblivious